Good afternoon to you lovely people. Happy Friday on this glorious day, I believe. Yeah, a little bit mixed here in the UK. How is it doing where you are? We are charging into autumn here. We've had some very sunny days and some very, very cold mornings. Can you believe that it's September already? Have you noticed that those days are getting shorter? Mornings are definitely much darker. So interested to know how you are doing. Thank you for joining. If you're joining, give me a thumbs up or give me a wave so I know you're there. Hi Camilla, thank you for joining. Hey, how are you doing? Really great to see you. A few people coming in. Hope that everything is wonderful wherever you are. Camilla is loving September. Yeah, I quite like this time of year. It's sort of, there's a different kind of energy, isn't it, around this time of year? It's certainly busy. Lots of people are getting back into the swing of things, getting back into work. You know, if you've got kids, are they back at school? How is that going? Or people back at college or even universities are starting to go back as well. How is your business? Is your business ramping up? How are you doing? Camilla's saying it's refreshing, a surge of energy. I know what you mean actually. It almost felt like the whole spring and summer just kind of merged into one, didn't it? So it's actually, there's that sort of back to school, back to work kind of feeling about September, which I quite like as well. You know, and a sort of a clear line where you go, oh my God, the year's nearly over. We better get on with it. So yeah, hope you are doing well. Lots of people joining now. Give us a thumbs up and a hello so I can see that you're there. Welcome, great to see you. Yeah, how are things doing? Gitanjali's watching. Are you in India? How is it doing? How are things over there? We get quite a bit of news from different countries, but I haven't seen anything about India. So how are you doing? Hope you guys are keeping safe and well over there and wherever you are watching from. So how has your week been? Has it been a busy one? Normally September's a really busy month, isn't it? As Camilla says, there's this sort of energy that comes. And I haven't given you a bird update recently. So in the springtime, I was giving you regular bird updates from here in the Docklands in East London. And I shared with you that there were swans that were nesting for quite some time. And then we never ever saw any babies. And you know what? My husband, a few days ago, he told me that he saw a swan couple with three kind of medium-sized teenagers, I guess you'd hear them. So I have no idea how they managed to get hatched without us noticing. So I was a little bit sorry not to have seen them when they're tiny, because they are gorgeous. So this week's been another busy one. Lots of people requesting their free copy of my book. Have you got your copy yet? It's totally free. All you pay is a bit for postage and packing, or maybe you prefer Audible. So the Audible version and the Kindle version are also both available online. Not free, unfortunately. I can't do promotions on those, but if you want a paperback, I can send it to you absolutely free. So do request your copy if you haven't already done so. My husband and I have also launched something that we're absolutely passionate about, and I'm so thrilled that we finally got it launched. We've been talking about doing this for such a very long time, and I think over the last few months, seeing how so many people are really struggling and the economy is, you know, it's just crazy and people are losing their jobs and businesses are really struggling. We really wanted to try and do something that would really help people. We've both been investors for many years. So we've been investors in properties, in startup companies, and more recently actually in AI art, which is very exciting. Do ask me about that if you're interested to find out more. So my husband, whose name is Yoni, which is short for Jonathan, he's a serial entrepreneur and he's a complete whiz he's a real finance expert and a bit of a geek. And so what he doesn't know about raising money, how markets behave, and building scalable platforms probably isn't worth knowing, to be honest. And so combined with my work on clarity and on confidence and the fundamentals of how to run a business and build a team, we make a pretty strong duo, if you like, the Zevies. And so this week we've launched something that we're calling Z Ventures, which is a paid for bootcamp to take you from idea through to investor ready. And so whether you're an employee that's maybe wondering if now is the time to quit your job, or maybe you already run your own business and you have no experience of fundraising and how to get yourself ready for investment, how to get yourself investor ready. So if you or someone that you know is ready to change the world, then we definitely want to hear from you, and you'll be hearing more about this initiative as we go through. But I'm super excited to get this launched. So it's an innovative and very practical, like everything that I do. It's a boot camp, and it will be taking you through step by step. We're going to cover idea refinement, we're going to cover market testing, we're going to do a lot around the nuts and bolts of running a business, lots of pitch preparation, and of course much more. And so by the end of the program, you're absolutely guaranteed an opportunity to pitch to early stage investors. So super excited, really wanted to tell you about that. A few more people joined, and I see that Paula's joined us. Hi Paula, and what I need to tell you is that Paula, I've been working with Paula all over the summer, and she finally got her project, her business launch, which is super exciting. So she had the launch event on Saturday. It's called Me Infinity, and it's something that I'm really proud to have been a part in, and also to be supporting now as one of Paula's partners on the project. And it's all about climate change, but not in a kind of a preachy way. A lot of the climate change stuff out there is very I find it very dogmatic and preachy, but what Paula's doing is trying to meet people where they are and talking about small and practical things that you can do, and her concept is all about if we change, then the climate changes. So it's all about what we can do to make a difference, what we can do in small things to look after ourselves, to look after our communities, and thereby making a change and making a difference in the world. So if you're at all interested in checking out, it's a brilliant project. It's called Me Infinity. I'm sure Paula would love to talk to you about it and to welcome you into the community. So we had the launch event on Saturday that was really well attended. We had loads of people on the call, and Paula is creating her own community now, which I'm delighted to support. And yeah, lots of excited projects and challenges, and lots of practical things that are coming to you. So we'll be sharing that in here as well, because I'm really thrilled to be a part of it and to be supporting it. So let's get to it, shall we? Last week we were talking about being in your flow, as you know, something that I'm absolutely passionate about, and for me it's one of the most important concepts in business. It's that space between being bored and being stressed, where you're just kind of on it, and you get that energy, you get that kind of burst of energy, and it just feels, you just know when it's right, when you're in your flow. And your mission, each and every one of you, is to figure out what that is for you and for all the people around you. And the more you can focus on flow and being in your flow and putting everybody else in your flow, the more successful, the more happy you will be, and the more that your business will thrive. So yes, I can help you with that. Do get in touch if that's something you'd like to explore more. The reason I'm so passionate about it, and the reason it's so important, is that time is the most important resource that we have as entrepreneurs. People get very hung up about money or other kinds of resources, but time is really your most precious commodity, your most precious resource. And so it's all about really thinking about what you're spending your time doing. So that was last week. If you haven't watched it, do check it out. It's all the lives are in the group, so you can check them out any time. And they're also organised into units, hopefully to again make your time more efficient and make things simple for you. This week it's all about getting unstuck, which is also something that I think is so important. And I want to think about today what makes us get stuck, and how do we get unstuck. It's always important when you're trying to solve a problem to think about, what is actually the problem before we try and figure out the solution. So it's absolutely not uncommon to feel stuck in your entrepreneurial journey or in your business, or to be honest, in any stage of your life. But it can happen It can happen really often. It's not unusual, so don't give yourself a hard time. It's just a natural part of the process. Often we have to feel stuck and frustrated before we kind of have a breakthrough, and then again we get that rush of energy. But it's good to kind of recognise some of the signs and to know maybe what's ahead of you in the journey, or maybe to reflect back on sometimes that you've got stuck. So what I see is business owners getting stuck in 3 very specific points along that entrepreneurial journey, if you like. And in the evolution of their business, you often find that there are kind of these 3 stages. And so I want to talk you through these 3 stages and see which one resonates with you, and also understand a little bit about what you're experiencing. So firstly, in the early stages of starting a business, there are so many options, there are so many choices, there are so many things to do. It is usually completely overwhelming. So if you've managed to get through those early stages without feeling overwhelmed, you've done a better job than me, so congratulations. But most people find that completely overwhelming, and I certainly did in the early stages of my business. It is really easy to feel like you're running from pillar to post, sort of trying out different things all the time and never quite getting anywhere. And although we're frantic and there's a lot of energy and we're kind of running around, it can end up feeling quite stuck when you're in that situation where it's just very difficult to prioritise and know what you should be focusing on. And so the answer lies in clarity, simplicity, and focus on 3 Ps. And those 3 Ps are the problem that you are trying to solve. The clearer you can get that problem, and the more simple language you can use, the better. So the problem, what problem are you trying to solve? Every business exists to solve their customers' problems, ultimately. And so you must get really clear and spend whatever time you need getting really clear about that problem that you are trying to solve. Then clearly you need to be very clear about how you're solving that. So what is the product? What is the promise, if you like? There's another P that's just snuck in there. What is that product? What is your solution to the problem that your customer is facing? And then the 3rd P is penetration, so market penetration, so getting traction and really proving that what you're selling actually works. So what I find at this stage is people let themselves get distracted by website and branding and Facebook ads and marketing and all these business cards and networking and all of these different activities. And what I would say is, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're kind of feeling stuck in this sort of hamster wheel of activity, come back to whatever you're doing. Is it helping you get clearer about the problem you're trying to solve, the product or service that you're using to solve it with, and getting traction in your market? I've said to you before, you're not a business when you've got a product. You're only a business when you've got a customer. So it's about getting that first customer and then finding more like that. Nothing else matters in the early stages. It's all about problem, product, and penetration. And everything else, let me tell you, is a distraction. And believe me, I know. I have allowed myself to get distracted by many, many things, and I know that many of you do too. But really, if you can focus on those 3 key things, it will help you get unstuck in the early stages of your business. This is very much when I'm working with early stage entrepreneurs. That is very much what I'm doing with them in my clarity and confidence program. That's what we're looking at. It's really about getting that clarity and then having that confidence in belief in yourself and what you are doing. And it's also, of course, what Yoni and I are very much going to be focused on in our Z Ventures Bootcamp. So that's why I'm so excited, because I know that it will help a number of you or people that you know that are early stage in their business and are looking to raise investments. So I will tell you more about that, but yeah, really, really excited about that. So once your business once you have some customers and therefore that you've kind of proved your product market fit, then what we do is we enter the growth phase. And this is a very exciting phase, of course. But here again, you can also get stuck. So even though, again, there's a lot of activity, there's all this growth, you can get stuck. And the reason that you can get stuck is that all roads are often still leading to you as the business owner. Maybe you have 1 or 2 people working for you, maybe part-time, maybe they're contractors, or maybe you even have a small team, but customers still want to talk to you. You're still making all the decisions and you're still carrying everything on your shoulders. And that again can be completely overwhelming and can make people feel like really stuck in this kind of overwhelm. This is where burnout comes in, that I've spoken about a lot before. So really important to recognize if you're getting stuck in that sort of growth cycle, if you like. Now, a lot of people I know are running businesses that are struggling, and so you might be thinking, wow, that would be a nice problem to have a lot of growth. But growth does obviously bring its own challenges. And again, the answer to helping you get unstuck here is, again, clarity and simplicity and focus, but this time we're focusing on 3 C's. So the first C that we need to focus on in this phase is really about being consistent, delivering consistency to our customers. And this is one of the most challenging things when we're growing fast and everything is very chaotic. Getting that consistency in your business is really, really challenging. And so this leads you naturally onto capabilities, and this is something that I talk about a lot. Who do you need around you to allow you to play to your strengths? Because consistency might not be one of your strengths, might not be the thing that you're most natural at focusing on. Yes, I'm talking to you. So who do you need around you that can complement you? Who do you need around you that's got different energies, that's bringing different things to the table? That will help you build your business in a sustainable way. So capabilities absolutely linked to that consistency, and that's the only way that you grow, as I say, in a sustainable way. You don't want more people like you. They're great, I know they're great, but they will also struggle with all the things that you struggle with. So you need different energies and different approaches and different capabilities. People who are wired differently in your small team, or whether it's outsourced contractors, whether it's a small team, doesn't matter. The same principles apply. So that is consistency and capabilities. And then the third one is really around cash management. So many profitable businesses go bust because they're not keeping their eye on the cash management. And I've spoken about this earlier on in the year. It's really, I see so many business owners who go, I'm not good with the numbers, I was crap at maths at school. I let my accountant do that. And let me tell you, and if you want more information on this, there are several lives that I've done on this subject, but let me just give you the summary version. Your accountant may be fantastic. I hope you have a fantastic accountant. I certainly do. But their job is compliance. Their job is to make sure that you comply with all the rules and regulations of, if you're in the UK, HMRC, or whatever the local tax authorities are, wherever you're watching from. Your accountant's job is not to run your business. They are not the business owner. They are looking at your numbers in a completely different way. And so cash is one of the 3 numbers that I always speak to my clients about. Cash management, absolutely critical. So the reason really why so many fast growth companies end up failing, it's often because the founder or the senior managers don't get to spend enough time on those really important strategic decisions. And this is because they're too busy firefighting and they're focused on all that urgent but not necessarily important stuff. You know the stuff I'm talking about, right? So whatever else you do, focusing on consistency, capabilities, the right people, and cash will really help you avoid being stuck in your business and overwhelmed with everything on your plate when you're in that kind of growth phase. And then we move on to the third phase. So once you've overcome those challenges and you've got the right people doing the right things in your business so that you can spend all that time on those high value activities that drive growth and opportunities, then you become what I like to call an established business. Now, here again, interestingly enough, the business owner can again find themselves stuck at this point, even when they're an established business. And that's because maybe you want to grow, but you've kind of hit a bit of a ceiling and you don't know how to move up to that next level. Maybe you kind of know what you need to do, but you keep getting dragged into the day-to-day running of your business. Or maybe you're even feeling a little bit bored, and I know a lot of people don't want to admit that, but it gets a bit same old, same old. And so once again, the answer to getting unstuck is in clarity, simplicity, and focus. And this time we're focusing on 3 S's. So firstly, self. It's all about you. What do you want? You know I'm all about helping you build a business that works for you. So what is it that you want? What is your role? What do you want your role to be? Do you maybe want to exit? Do you maybe want to focus on a specific part of your business? Do you want to focus on growth? Like, what puts you in your flow? What do you really want? Before you tell me that it's not possible and you don't have the right people and the customers will only talk to you and all of that, let's get clear first of all, what is it that you want? So that is very definitely the first S. And that leads us on to the second S, which is strategy. What is the right approach for your business? What structure do you need then to deliver that? So what strategy is going to deliver you and your business what you really want for it? And finally, in order for you to get the freedom that you want, whether it's to focus on growth or new projects, or simply have maybe more time outside of your business, you need a really good succession plan in place for those key roles. And this is the number one reason why business owners get stuck in established businesses, is because there's no succession. That they are still performing all those important roles and there's no succession plan for who's taking that over from you. Who's the next person in line? Who are you coaching and mentoring? Who are you bringing up through the ranks, if you like, to take on the pieces that you don't want to do anymore? So if you focus on self, i.e. what do you want, strategy and succession, you will avoid feeling stuck and you will be able to move forward then to what you really want and to get your business really working for you. So what do you do when you feel yourself getting stuck? Definitely the first thing is to stop and just acknowledge, okay, here am I feeling stuck. Self-awareness, really, really important. Very difficult to fix anything that we're not aware of. The next thing, definitely take a step back. So take a break, like get out of your environment, go for a walk, go for a run, take some time off, change the physiology, change the environment. If you're stuck, you've got to start with unsticking yourself, like physically. So physically move yourself, do some deep breathing, maybe do some yoga, like do something different that changes the physiology and will get rid of some of that overwhelm and frustration. Like shake it out. And then when you're ready to come back, what am I trying to achieve here? I always want to keep things really nice and simple because I think there's great power in simplicity and clarity and focus. So what are you trying to achieve here? There's lots of different things, but what is it? Let's take a step back. What is it that you're trying to achieve? And what is the one thing that will move the needle? What is that one thing that is going to make a difference? So, do you know what most people, typically people do when they get stuck, and believe me, I know, they do one of 3 things. So either they do nothing and they just try and push through, that kind of banging your head against a brick wall, believe me, I know. So they do nothing, but let's say they just work harder, or they just kind of keep doing the same thing. Or they try and figure it out themselves, which is often a long and slow and frustrating process. Or they ask for help. And I know that that is not always easy. But if you are feeling stuck, please reach out and ask for help. Get a call booked in and let me help you figure out where you are and what you're stuck on. I am going to close today's live with 2 quotes about getting unstuck and getting clear. So first is from Narayana Narayana Murthy, the Indian entrepreneur and co-founder of Infosys. And what he has to say on this subject is growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. And my second quote is from Steve Gilliland, who is an American motivational speaker. And what he says is, clarity is the perspective that you can't see. And this is why asking for help is so important, because it's there, the answer is there. There is absolutely an answer to every problem. There is a solution to everything that you're stuck on. But maybe you can't see it because maybe you don't have the right perspective. Maybe you're too close to it. Probably you're too close to it. So if stepping away and having a change of scenery and clearing your head and coming back doesn't work, ask for help. That's what I'm here for. There are other people. Ask for help. Get some perspective. Get some different ideas, and that will help you break through and get the clarity that you need to move in the direction towards your goals. So let me know what you think about today's live. I hope that you've got some thoughts there about getting unstuck. Our next community event is coming up. Can you believe it's time for another one? I don't know where the year is going. Tuesday the 29th of September. And we are going to be focusing on getting back to work. So getting back into that rhythm, that post-summer rhythm, if you like, that Camilla and I were talking about at the beginning of this live. And also planning for Q4. So what do you want to achieve for the balance of this crazy year? What are your goals? Let's get some goals put in, and let's talk about how we stay focused to the end of the year. I really hope that you can join us, and we'll be kicking off our focus challenge during that event, so do make sure that you join us for that and that you don't miss it. You can register for your place now. The link is in the group. You'll see an event there. If you have any trouble finding the link, then let me know. Of course, I'll send it out to you again. So do let me know your thoughts or questions on this, and do let me know about any other topics that you might want me to speak about in relation to growing a business that works for you. Let me know what area of business would be most helpful for you to help you move forward. I am just going to read a couple of the comments here. So Paula is saying the capabilities was a game changer for me. Yeah, I know it was, and it is for so many different people. We do really think that we have to do it all ourselves, and it just is not the word at all. It's just really not the way, and that's because I've just seen Camilla giving word. Yeah, I love it, Camilla. Camilla's saying perspective is everything. We create our own reality. I completely agree. And perspective is so difficult to get when you are too close to something and banging your head against a brick wall, which is why talking things through, accountability, coaching, mentoring is an absolute game changer. So Gitanjali, very relevant points. Great, thank you. Glad you enjoyed it, Gitanjali, and lovely to see you. Glad that you guys are safe and well over there in India. So do let me know your thoughts and any questions or any topics you'd like me to cover in the future. I do hope that you have a really lovely weekend, whatever you're doing and whoever you're doing it with. I do wish you a very happy and peaceful time. And as always, if you want to talk, you do know where I am. Take care, stay safe, and do keep in touch. Bye for now.